Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to your intuitive week, your energy update for the week of October 13th, 2025. Halfway through this month, this very transformative month, a transformative year, but this month feels quite potent. And before we dive into the energy update, I wanted to share that this Saturday, October 18th, is my workshop, The Art of Intuitive Spoon Bending, and I love sharing this. It is such a powerful practice. If you have not joined me before, I really suggest you do. It is so fantastic. And of course, joining live is the most fun, but you will have access to the replay if you can't join live. And the art of intuitive spoon bending, this is definitely a workshop for you if you spend more time thinking than doing. If you want to let go of any blocks or hurdles that you feel like are in the way of your dreams, or maybe that you put in the way, some self-sabotage that many of us experience, very common. If you really want to experience feeling and seeing something that may feel completely impossible, and then within the 90 minutes, it becomes possible right before your eyes. That is a shift that your brain and your heart and the belief in yourself needs. It can feel like an instant, quick change in how you see what is possible for you. And also, because we do a really lovely guided journey, if you would love to reconnect and reclaim your power, reunite with your higher self, and start receiving the truth of what you really can do, to believe that your dreams can become reality. That's what this workshop is for. Even though it's focused on a spoon, it is so much more than the spoon. And I have two magical workshops for you this month. On Saturday, October 25th, you can join my Be Your Own Oracle workshop. This is created to really help you remember that everything you need to know is already there within you, just waiting for you to stop giving your power away and remember. And this is definitely for you if you want to get the answers that you are seeking anytime and anywhere with nothing but you. If you are always asking for signs and then another and then another and a signier sign, or if you're pulling cards for yourself and you pull another and another and another, if you really want to connect to building more trust in your intuition, in the language of your intuition. And if you want a go-to when you're feeling stuck or confused or uncertain, this is a workshop to help you connect to ways to do that, personal ways, and maybe in a different way than you have tried before. Most likely very different from my experience. And really, if you want to learn how to be your own oracle, this podcast is all about you remembering that you are the greatest teacher, oracle, intuitive that you could ever know. So even though I'm sharing insights through my intuition, the aim and intention is to help you remember the deep wisdom and clarity that you hold within. So I hope you can join us. You do have the option of putting those two workshops together for a special price, and that's the October workshop bundle that you'll see in the notes underneath your podcast episode. And until the 15th, there is an early bird price for the single workshops or for both together. So have a look or send me a message if you have any questions. And remember, if you can't join live, no problem. You will have access to the replay. And yes, come and learn. And remember, the main message for October is to open up. And there is no better way to lean into that than through these two workshops. All right, so let's get into the energy update for your week of October 13th. And just a quick reminder to anyone who is new, welcome and welcome back to everyone who has been here before. For anyone that's new, the way that I receive the insights for these energy updates is I go into a really nice meditation, a deep meditation with the intention to receive insight, guidance, messages, symbols, anything that I can translate through my intuition to offer us, me included, and you, clarity. Help us remember something that we need to, help us connect to what we may already know, but haven't fully put into practice, to help us see and understand where our focus could be used best for the week ahead for our highest good. And with everything I share, trust what resonates, leave the rest, use it as an intuitive development tool, like really trust when it's resonating and don't try to fit it into your life if it doesn't. Listen. Listen to how your intuition is connecting. If it feels like a message or insight for you, trust it. If it doesn't, leave it. And I'll share what I experienced, and then I will share the animal for the week that can inspire us that came through in the meditation, and then some journal prompts, soul questions that can help you connect even deeper into what you need to know for this week. Okay, so when I first opened up the meditation, there was a lot of red energy being highlighted. And immediately, this felt like a focus on our root, on caring for the base of our energy system, our root chakra. And our root is very important, obviously, as the foundation, but often neglected or not focused on as much. It's not really as exciting as the rest of the energy centers, but it is a very, very vital part of our energy. And we did have a focus on the root when the rabbit energy came through 2 weeks ago. And that was a connection to root chakra healing, a call to. So if you didn't get a chance then, I would suggest to make some time to tend to your root chakra energy this week. And some signs that you may really need some care for your root are if you are feeling a bit more controlling, really holding on to the way you want things to go. If you maybe are getting angry quickly or irritated, frustrated, if you have kind of a lack of motivation or drive, but you feel like there is something you need to be doing. And also, if you're feeling maybe more self conscious or insecure than usual, specifically when you are around other people. So pay attention to that. If you are more self conscious or insecure than usual, specifically around others, that could be a big sign that you need some root care. And also, if you are more tired or lethargic and it's unexplained, you feel like you have enough sleep or you don't tend to be this tired. If there's no reason, that could be a big sign. And the root is the energy that is held at the base of the spine, but also around. So lower hips, kind of in that deep circle of energy, almost like a donut of energy, inside and out. Remember, it's not just 2D. That root energy is held in every direction in our field. And caring for this energy, being the foundation of our centers, it really helps us feel grounded and secure, rooted in being able to withstand challenges. So we bend, right? Instead of breaking. And it's that piece of our energy that we can anchor into where we can feel secure and stable, regardless of what the outside is telling us. It really corresponds to our needs at a deep core level. But one other thing about this base chakra, it's that security and safety that we can connect to and anchor into within. And when it is open and balanced, we do feel that, right? We feel that security and safety, not only in our present, but for our future. And we feel grounded, not only in kind of our physical energy, but in our spiritual and emotional and our mental energy, where we feel cohesive and connected in all of those energy bodies. But one other thing, if what I described is resonating with you, what also may need some tending is our heart space, our heart chakra. For some of us, we may need to tend to our hearts to feel truly grounded, not only to focus on the root. So if you have been tending to your root, but you find that you still haven't fully been able to feel that embodied, grounded, secure, stable energy, then it may be your heart that needs more care too, because the root and the heart are on an axis, even in the colors, the root being red and our heart being green. Those are on an axis in the color wheel. They're dependent on each other in our energy system in a similar way. And if that resonates with you, then that means your heart is part of where you anchor and ground your energy as well. So trust how you feel, and nothing is wrong with caring for both, regardless whether you know for sure. But I just wanted to share that because it's not something that I hear about a lot, but it's something that I've experienced in my client work often. So I'll put both of my Reiki healing meditations in the show notes for the root and the heart, and try your best to just make a little bit of time. Both are around 10 minutes, and care for those parts of your energy. Okay, and the next thing that came through in the meditation, another kind of physical, more focus on the energy of the body, was a numb tongue. The tongue, I was being brought to attention of this numbness in our tongue. And this felt like two things that for some of us, we have felt maybe a bit numb on what to say, on how to use our voice, that there is something that we feel kind of brewing and bubbling, but we don't have any clarity on it, and that we may feel even stuck. We also may feel muted, maybe by ourself, self-judgment, or by society at large, kind of conditioned. So really connect to either of those. Have you been feeling numb or stuck in how to use your voice, in how to express yourself? Or have you been feeling muted, judged? by yourself or others. This is a big point of focus for this week. It feels like some of us really need to care for our voice, to feel within and trust what comes, to not overthink, to really allow. The only thing that kind of gets rid of that pins and needles numbness, because that's what it feels like, not a paralyzation, but like a pins and needles, is to move. Think about when your foot falls asleep and you get up. You have to kind of like hit your foot or kind of stomp it on the ground and get some blood flowing again. So maybe it is this need this week to speak to yourself. Maybe if you are having thoughts, if you're thinking quite a bit, start thinking those thoughts out loud. There is a difference. And in the meditation, it also felt like for some of us, this kind of numbness in the tongue, this pins and needles, this muted feeling, that it could be part of an ebb in our energy that we are mistaking for feeling stuck. Because in the October energy, the big message was opening up, right? Opening up our energy. And opening up is an expansion of our energy. And what happens after you open something up, you expand something, think of a rubber band, you're opening it up, and then it's going to come back in. So a retreat, a contraction, the waning of the tide after the big wave. This is a natural cycle, preparing us for the next leg of our expansion, of our expanding part of our life. But we can get stuck there if we don't trust ourselves and the steps we are taking, if we feel like we need to be moving all of the time. So maybe part of this kind of numbness, this stuck, this uncertainty of what to say or do next is part of not trusting that you're in that part of the cycle. So some of us may be holding it a bit too long because we don't feel that natural flow of moving back into the next expansion, the next expression. So really trust yourself on what feels right next. And in speaking the words that you are thinking, the kind of, especially if they're spiraling thoughts, kind of moving through your awareness and mind, if it's worry or fear or judgment, say them out loud, let it out, and just observe it. Is it true? What thought comes next after you release it? This is a great way to start communicating with yourself and your energy. And I'm really reminded of the October energy impressions. Yes, the opening up, but also connecting to what is doubt, masking as distrust. So really revisit in your life this midpoint of October to where you are mistaking some doubt, very natural doubt, for actual distrust. There are many different ways, but a few ways just that you can do on your own are start in your heart, bring your attention to your heart, and just pay attention to how your heart is feeling, what comes to your mind, to your imagination when you bring your attention to your heart. One other way to discover kind of where your real trust is living in you, where you can connect to it and help it grow, is to pay attention to where the opposite of your trust is. Where do you feel anxious or nervous or fearful within you? Where are those feelings living? Because they might be in the same place. Those feelings are expressions of your trust. Your anxiety and your nervousness and your fear, those feelings are actually expressions, a form of expression of your trust. They're the lack of it. But you may find your trust there, hiding beneath. And if that resonates with you, yes, this is the time in the month to revisit where you are mistaking your doubt for distrust and how you can connect to that trust within and really open it up, build it. And the next thing that came through in the meditation was the message to be still, to be still. A stillness that may really be needed this week. To find stillness in silence. To be able to go within, very connected to everything else that I already shared. And if you do have some challenge or difficulty getting still, maybe go on a walk. Because you can be still. It might sound odd, doesn't mean being completely still in your body, but a stillness in your energy. If you go on a walk, but make sure you don't have music or a podcast on. Be still with yourself. And that does feel like what the message was around the stillness. That there's so much happening, that we are receiving so much information. Maybe not even receiving, but ingesting so much information that being still is not easy. But that is what we need to open up again, but to our own universe within and reconnect to it. And maybe that numbness and kind of pins and needles in the tongue was also a symbol of this stillness. To be silent when we need to go within, to be able to bring out what we need to say and express with that next expansion of our energy, how it's going to manifest for us, to trust where we're led with it. That stillness feels like a key piece to it, to really reconnecting to our power within. And then the animal that came through, there was so much focus on our physical body and our energy and so much symbolism happening within. I love the animal that we have for this week. It's the wolf. The beautiful, so dynamic, deeply powerful wolf energy. And I'm going to share the energy that the wolf represents, the symbolism. And as I share the words, trust how it connects to you in your life. Trust how the words I share about the wolf connect you to immediately in your life, in your world, in what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're planning, what you've been thinking. Like, really trust it, because that is how this energy can inspire us this week. So the wolf represents the energy of community, friendship, freedom, boundaries, protection, authentic voice, trusting our intuitive senses, the power of body language, our emotional intelligence, commitment, loyalty, and endurance. And many of those words are already so connected to what I received through the meditation, but I do encourage you to connect deeper for your own inspiration. And you can picture a wolf in your mind's eye through your imagination and just allow your imagination to translate for your intuition, for your inner knowing. Allow that wolf energy to guide you to see what unfolds. Where does it bring you? What do you feel, see, hear, know, smell, taste? All of these inner senses, those are all ways that our intuition can speak And because the wolf energy is so connected to our intuition and our intelligence, our emotional intelligence, our intuitive senses, if that does resonate with you, I really encourage you to try your own meditation with the wolf and just see what happens. But pay attention, do all the things that happen, and then trust that those are ways that your intuition is trying to share insight with you. And of course, I love sharing more insight around these animals. One of the books I love to share from is Animals Speak by Ted Andrews. And this excerpt is what stood out. It was so highlighted intuitively as I read it. And I thought, okay, this is what I need to share for us for this week. So, a bit more about the wolf energy. Wolves have extremely keen senses, particularly that of smell. It is said to be 100 times greater than that of humans. The sense of smell endows it with great discrimination, and the sense of smell has often been associated with spiritual idealism in metaphysical circles. The wolf also has an excellent hearing sensitivity. Its hunting depends strongly upon its sense of smell and hearing. This would be a reminder to listen to your own inner thoughts and words. The intuition is strong. This idea is further emphasized by the thick coat of fur the wolf has. Fur and hair have long been symbols of psychic ability. The wolf has both an inner coat and an outer, giving it an ability to reflect the archetypal forces associated with psychic insight. The wolf has a capacity for making quick and firm emotional attachments. Learning to trust your own insights and to secure your attachments accordingly is part of what wolf medicine teaches. The wolf can help you to hear the inner and guard you from inappropriate action. It will guard you as it teaches you, sometimes strongly, sometimes gently, but always with love. When wolf shows up, it is time to breathe new life into your life rituals. Find a new path, take a new journey, take control of your life. You are the governor of your life. You create it and direct it. Do so with harmony and discipline, and then you will know the true spirit of freedom. And as you listen to that more in-depth insight around the energy of the wolf, what did it emphasize and how did it encourage you? Really trust. I know I've said trust many times, but it's a big part of what this week is trying to teach us and what is available to us. Okay, and I know I asked many questions already throughout the episode, but I wanted to share a few focused journal prompts, soul questions. These are for you to answer all or none or one. Really trust which one feels right to you, but to help you move even closer to yourself and what you need to know for this week. You can answer them in a voice note to yourself. That would be even maybe better for this week. Or answer them in your journal or just think about it. Use them as thought prompts as well. But the first question, have you been looking back too much? And how has it been stopping you from moving forward? And a second question, what race have you been running, metaphorically? What race have you been running that might actually be a marathon? And a third question, where in your life do you feel stuck? And how can your voice help you? And a fourth question, describe a time when you took a very long time to make a decision. And then write down what you would tell your past self today about the indecision. What do you know now? This is a way for you to really discover the depth of your trust and bring it back to the forefront. So describe a time when you took a really long time to make a decision, and then write down what you would tell your past self today about that indecision. And thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. I would love to hear if you resonated with the energy that I'm feeling and that we're moving through for this week of October 13th. If you have any thoughts or questions, do not hesitate to send me a message through my website or through my Instagram at Treenlight. All of the links are in the show notes on how to connect with me. And if you're curious about any of the other work that I'm doing and how I can support you, including signing up for my magical workshops for this October, please go to the show notes and you'll find everything there. And hugely appreciate it if you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and follow as well, wherever you get them. And if you feel called to give some support, please share this episode with a friend, or you could leave a review. They only care about 5 stars, so very appreciated if you feel called. That would be amazing. So thank you again. Be extra kind to yourself, and I will talk to you next week.